Well, let me ask you this. In the last week, have you bought any crypto?
No.
You haven't bought any? Okay, so you haven't taken advantage of the discount that's going on right now?
Before the sun sets today, I'm going to.
Okay, got it. So I just bought a bunch of XRP and Bitcoin yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a bunch when it dropped to whatever the number was in the 80s, high 70s, 80s. And to me, the part about dollar cost averaging is it's so easy to teach, but it's so hard to execute.
Patrick Bet-David just confirmed he just bought a bunch of XRP. And during today's episode, we're going to be playing a highlight from the Patrick Bet-David podcast where they're discussing what they were doing during the crypto collapse. With many of our favorite digital assets being down over 50% from their previous all-time highs, we're going to be breaking down whether this is a massive opportunity or the end is just getting started. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Good Evening Crypto, your favorite crypto news related channel. If you enjoy this content, smash that like button and subscribe as you're going to get an update every single day, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. And what we're breaking down all throughout today's show is the major opportunity that could be being presented to crypto investors today. We saw XRP reach as low as $1.10. We saw Bitcoin go as low as $60,000. And there are brand new reports out of the White House this morning that President Trump was planning on buying Bitcoin at $60,000 to put in the strategic reserve. Now, that's not my opinion. That is the opinion of Jim Cramer, which I'll show you right here.
Do you think that the president is going to fill the Bitcoin reserve?
I don't know. That will
Well, that's
be
what I
a
heard at
big
60.
deal.
I heard at 60 he's going to fill the Bitcoin reserve. You better cover.
And so with many of the largest digital assets on the planet having huge regressions in their price chart, we're going to spend today's episode breaking down whether this is a good opportunity or the beginning of the end for digital assets. But let's start playing this video right here out of the Patrick Bet-David podcast, where he's talking about how he just bought a whole bunch of XRP.
60,000 as historic free fall worsens. 68,000 is back up a little bit. Prices down over 50% over 4 months. This week, yesterday, equities, nearly $600 billion lost in equities because of AI. I think crypto this week lost $600 billion, $2 trillion since the high in October. Tom, what's going on over here?
So what has happened is, remember crypto? Well, guess what? It's going to be a hedge against inflation. It's going to be an alternative to fiat. It's going to go this way when the markets go that way. And now here we have the big test. We've got layoffs. We've got gold. We've got the US dollar weakening. We've got a K-shaped economy where the consumer is increasingly under stress. Credit card debt at the highest of all time, almost $1.3 trillion right now. Whereas Wall Street with PE, especially in tech, has been doing okay. And so we're all waiting for the shoe to drop. The shoe to drop is the market and some economic things and some layoffs and everything. And all of a sudden, Bitcoin goes with it. Bitcoin was supposed to be different. And so right now we're trying to figure out, Pat, remember when everybody said, just don't worry about it. Get a little bit of Bitcoin. It's an inflation hedge. It's an inflation hedge. That was one of the core selling points. Well, now when things go sideways, wait a minute. This is 2 years of increases have gone down. This morning it said, if I'm correct, October 2024, it was 66. It's gone on a run, so it's returned and it's given back 2 years of gain.
Go to 5-year max.
Everything since October 24 is gone. And so all this, it's like we're finding out, will the real Bitcoin please stand up? Are you an inflation hedge that's going to be stable over time? Are you alternative to fiat? Are you just another speculation stock that is going to react to the market, react to gold, react to inflation? And right now it looks like it's reacting to that. Now there's a lot of Bitcoin people who are going to say, this is temporary, Tom. No, you don't know what you're talking about. But rather than being stable and do the things that they said it's going to do, that all the proponents were together and saying, it's difficult. It's like, okay, the people who put their trust in it.
Well, let me ask you this. In the last week, have you bought any crypto?
No.
You haven't bought any? Okay, so you haven't taken advantage of the discount that's going on right now?
Before the sun sets today, I'm going to.
Okay, got it. So I just bought a bunch of XRP and Bitcoin yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a bunch when it dropped to whatever the number was in the 80s, high 70s, 80s. And to me, the part about dollar cost averaging is it's so easy to teach, but it's so hard to execute.
And we talk about this very often on our channel, guys. The strongest crypto portfolios are built during a bear market, and that is when these assets are trading at lower prices. People beg for the opportunity to buy a $1 XRP when asset prices are above $3. But when we're given that opportunity, many retail investors talk themselves out of buying the token at a lower price. That's exactly what Patrick Bet-David is going to get into during this next portion of the clip. If you're enjoying this content, smash the like, leave some thoughts underneath the video, and I'd love to hear from you guys. One's underneath the video if you bought the dip. Two's underneath the video if you're waiting for some lower lows. But here's what Patrick Bet-David had to say.
Yeah, your emotions betray you on
It's
dark
so hard
days.
to execute. We can get in front of a board and teach our 13-year-old son, let me tell you how dollar cost averaging works. If you invest $100 and the stock is $10, you get 10 shares. It goes to 15, you get 6 shares. But if it drops to 5 and you're scared and you buy it, you get 20 shares. And the average between the three becomes $13. And so now you did it. But then when it happens to you, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm on a dollar cost average. Boom, you missed it. It went back to 92. You could have bought it at 62. You could have bought it at 65. So here's a part about.
And we got a glimpse of this yesterday, even for XRP's price chart in particular. We saw this asset go as low as $1.10 during that great crash that we had just 48 hours ago. Well, during yesterday's daily candle, I believe we reached as high as $1.52, $1.53 here, which completely engulfed the negative candle that we had the day before. So it just goes to show the volatility can be used against us, but in the long run, it ultimately works to our advantage. Here's what Patrick had to say.
They say the scared man becomes a day trader.
Yes, it does. And by the way, what I'm, I say this, the long-term thinkers win, short-term thinkers get destroyed. Long-term thinkers are able to go through the emotional difficulties of investment. Something goes up, something goes down. Long-term, everything ends up working out for the long-term thinker. But this is really scaring the crap of a lot of people. This is scaring the crap out of a lot of people. Jared, where are you with this?
Well, I mean, look, I think, the American people on a whole, right, are not invested in Bitcoin and in crypto. To your point, this was supposed to be detached from everything else. It was supposed to be the hedge. That's what we constantly heard. But there's a lot of establishment investment now in here. There's a lot of regular big Wall Street that came into there. And so you talk to a lot of people who talk about these downward trends that happen in Bitcoin, that there's a cycle that happens. They talk about these cycles. And so far it's following the cycle, but it did go lower than the 60,000 threshold. They said if it hits 60,000, that should be the end of the cycle. Now it's up again. So let's see. Let's see now if it.
There's a whole different school of thought that they say it could hit as low as 26,000 to match the drops it's had over the years.
And guys, I'm not into the philosophy that we're going to see a $26,000 Bitcoin, but if that were to occur, that may be the greatest entry that we'd ever been given. And I'm reminded of the COVID crisis that happened during 2020 when we saw the Bitcoin price chart reach as low as $3,500. We had XRP trading as low as 11 cents on some exchanges. That's kind of what Patrick Bet-David is talking about in this clip. And if the bear market is over, this is phenomenal. Prices are going higher. If the bear market is going to follow a typical cycle, that means this could last all the way until the October timeframe. Another 6 months of bear market, we could definitely see some of these lower price ranges. Again, that's not my perception. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy talking crypto on the internet. But the reality is that prior cycles, we see a 77% drop in Bitcoin on average, and we see a 90% on average drop for these altcoins. I think we're going to see something different because of the Clarity Act, because of the stimulus cycle. It's a completely different environment than it was during the war on crypto just a couple of years ago. But that's what they're going to get into in this next portion of the clip.
And then from 26, it's going to go to 250, 500. It's kind of what they're talking about.
By the way, if it goes the margin calls that are going to happen
No
at
question.
26,000.
You're right.
Oh, my Lord.
You're right. Yeah, by the way, have you ever had a margin call?
I don't have enough money to do that.
Yeah, I had a margin call. But I was 25 years old when I got a margin call, when I had no money. And I put, I don't know what it was, 5,000.
Happening. And so what's happening is you're already seeing some, there's already margin calling happening. And so what's happening is other people are having to liquidate other assets, right? So that they have capital to pay the margin. So if this does continue to tank, it's going to bring down other stocks with it as people liquidate out of those.
Well, if you actually are a long-term investor, this is a good day for you because you can go buy some stuff. I've learned over the years that what goes up must come down. So you know who knows what's going on in the market tomorrow? Absolutely nobody. If Michael Saylor doesn't know what's going on with Bitcoin, Believe me, your Uber driver has no clue. The guy that's like, bro, I just invested in
there is somebody that
XRP.
knows what's going on in the market.
Who's
Her name
that?
is Nancy Pelosi.
Maybe
She sold PayPal. She sold. Wait a minute. Did you
Yeah.
not see the story?
Nobody knows what's going to happen in the market.
You
Yeah.
please give
Okay,
credit
so
to
other
Nancy
than God
Pelosi,
and
don't
Nancy
disrespect.
Pelosi, nobody knows what's going to happen in the market. Here's what I tell people, Pat. I think we're on the same page with long-term thinking. If you want safe and security, think of it like a theme park. You want to be safe, go on the merry-go-round, buddy. You want investing, you want risk and reward, go on the roller coaster. Now, the only time you're going to die, if you go on the roller coaster, you try to jump off the ride in the middle of the ride. So I bought Bitcoin, I think at 20 many years ago. People are telling me, oh, dude, it's going to go to 100. Then I bought it at 40 again. I'm just looking at it on sale right now. I asked, Adrian and all my friends are in the Bitcoin space. 6 months ago, I go, you see this all-time high? I go, what's the lowest we're ever going to see again? 80,000, bro. I swear. I go, 80,000, maybe 78. I text him today, buddy, we're at 60. You don't know nothing. Like I make, we bust each other's balls. Yo, you're an idiot. All my Bitcoin friends, you don't know anything. Oh, it's the Bitcoin halving. You understand there's only 21 million. Dude, you don't know anything. Nobody knows anything. If you're a long-term thinker, long-term investor, or a hodler, what are they called? Hold on for dear life versus a long-term holder, that this is a great thing for you. Dollar cost average and buy. If you're scared, if you're these people like the XRP, how many people did you talk to who are like, yeah, I don't know any crypto, I don't know any assets, but I'm an XRP guy. Do you even know what they do? Do you have that video of what our friend Max did, Pat? Tell me if you saw this video yet regarding XRP.
My fucking money, motherfucker! Where's my fucking money?
Yeah, I saw.
Because all these people invested in XRP because they thought that they were going to get rich. And what's the famous saying? Buy the rumors, sell the news. When your Uber driver is giving you advice on XRP, get out ASAP.
You keep bringing up the Uber driver.
I take a lot of Ubers.
The one point that I actually do agree with in this whole speech by this guy here is that when you start to hear your friends and family who are not interested in digital assets ask you about buying these things, that may be a good time to start taking some profit. And I've seen that during the 2021 cycle. I saw it during 2025. After the election of Donald Trump, XRP went from 50 cents to $3. People who had been extremely critical of the industry immediately began to ask, should I be buying this asset? Is it too late? We're going to go through that same cycle once again. And we started off this episode with a brief conversation about how the White House could be buying some of this Bitcoin here at 60,000 to put in the reserve. I'm not buying into that narrative until I see some definitive evidence. But what do I know for sure? Veteran investors, smart investors, people who believe in crypto for the long term, they are buying the dip. And we've seen that on several occasions. Even Blockchain Backer, who's been a longtime bear, he's been calling for this major dip. He was proven correct on that analysis. He's now looking for and identifying market bottoms to see, all right, where's the capitulation and where could we be headed during our next bull market? There is light at the end of the tunnel for the crypto community. So that's why smart people who are buying XRP at $3, they see an XRP at 140 and they go, great, I'll bring my dollar cost average down. I'll do my future self a favor. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know underneath the video what you're thinking and let's finish this clip.
Well, do you talk to them about finance?
No, they barely speak English, but that's my point. Is that they barely speak English and they're recommending Ripple.
But by the way, if you look at Bitcoin, right, talking about the long-term investor, okay, if you didn't take any money off the table, you're back where you started if you got in the last year. Right. So, when Trump got elected, that's when the huge run up happened. It started happening in 24, not in 25. He gets elected, the huge run up happens. So if you owned it at 60,000, 65,000, if you bought it right before the election and you didn't take any money off the table, you're right back where you started. So, this idea that, oh, I'm in it for the long haul. Well, if it's a roller coaster, then you got to take money out before the drop happens, if that's going to be a consistent thing with it.
And that's what we try to do here on Good Evening Crypto, guys. We promote two products on the show. It is ITrust Capital to get your tax-free crypto profits through a Roth IRA product. And we talk about Merlin because that allows you to create a profit plan. So when asset prices are higher, when we're going into these bull markets, you have a realistic perception of where you should be taking profit. So I would encourage everybody, click on the links down below, check out Merlin, click on ITrust. If you use our ITrust link, you're going to get a $100 free sign-up bonus to get your account started underneath this video. But I agree with that premise. When we have an opportunity, when cash is on the table, it's never a bad idea to take 5%, put it to the sideline, 10%, put it to the sideline, and then you can use that same money to invest in these assets at lower prices when we go through these huge pullbacks.
Yeah. And it seems to be that there is a pattern with it. It doesn't react like everybody thought it was going to react to the way that gold reacts. They don't react the same way. And this year was a confusing thing because gold went up. What is the price of gold right now, Rob? If we look it up.
5,000?
If you
Do we need to text it to you, Rob?
Yeah.
He'll probably
49.83.
And so as crypto investors who are here after the great collapse that we've experienced since early October, $2 trillion have been wiped out of the market in just the last 4 months. And what this may be presenting for long-term crypto investors is a great opportunity to buy our favorite assets at lower prices. Now, looking at the XRP price chart, we are clearly sitting on this support down here. This goes as low as $1.14. We briefly touched these ranges, and now we've been rebounding, sitting on top of this prior high back in 2021 in September of about $1.40. Now, this is great news for the XRP community, considering we've seen strong demand off these ranges. But if Bitcoin gets a liquidation event, and if we see Bitcoin's price go lower, possibly to that mid $55,000 range, then the XRP price chart has a chance of dipping below $1 and not finding any serious support until about 85 cents on the XRP price chart. So this is all information that I would take into consideration as we head into early 2026 here. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you believe the bottom is in for crypto? If you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all in the next one. So if you're looking to implement the same strategies that we do here on Good Evening Crypto, I would encourage all of our listeners to click on the Merlin link below and sign up for ITrust Capital as well. Now, why are our listeners going to do this? By leveraging the Merlin application, you can create a profit plan for yourself so you know exactly where you're going to be exiting this market. But leveraging ITrust through a Roth IRA product, you can take advantage of tax-free crypto gains during this crypto bull market. So I would encourage everybody, click on the link down below, sign up for ITrust today, and take advantage of our $100 free sign-up bonus.